Young lions leaping into war, lips still wet from mama's tit, pasty chests a-swell with patriotic fervour, hope and grit, loins afire with all the freedom and the girls they're fighting for. Young lions. September 1914. Army recruitment officers are surrounded by a seething sea of bowler hats, boaters and flat caps as toffs, townies and tearaways take up the call to arms. In a fierce frenzy of enlistment, 33,000 men and boys join up in a single day. Tarquin and Tudor rub shoulders with Chalky and Nobby, all fired up with urgency, pride and patriotism, all dreaming perhaps of daring deeds and feats of glory. And what do they find when they get to the war? Welcome to War School, Tommy boy. We teach both gentry and hoi Our motto, hold the line and pray, and hope to die another day. You learn to shoot and hold your breath. The air is foul, and in it death. And stood in mud and bloodied water, you learn the poetry of slaughter. The mathematics of the gun. U plus bullets equals none. The ancient tongues of pain and fire. Gymnastics, dancing on the wire. You'll find we'll school you all too well. You'll live and breathe and sleep with hell. And from this crucible you'll glean the politics of insanity. Check your kit, check your rifle, check your kit again. 10 minutes, wait, wait. Teetering on the tightrope of a single nerve stretched between urgency and mortal dread. 5 minutes. In a pocket of silence, you hear your own heartbeat. Come on, come on, come on. And the whistle blows. Kick, bollock, scramble up over the top. Hold the line no matter what. Steady, lads. Walk as one man. Not too fast, not too slow. Zipping, whistling, death goes by your ears. You can feel them falling either side of you. And now the thunder. Shrapnel shells blow the air to bits. Heat blasts you. Gouts of mud and comrade fill the sky. Hold the line, knuckles white. And underneath the noise of angered gods, you hear the whimpers and the cries, the supplications and the goodbyes, all along the line. Mummy, God save us. Jack, I'm sorry. Dad, I should have wrote. If you can get me through this day, God, oh God. And the smoke and the stench and the sucking mud and the thunder, the thunder, the thunder of the guns. And it never ends. We walk upon our own dead and into hell. For the first time in history, this is death on an industrial scale. It comes from the air, from the sea, and from the gigantic guns which devastate the land and blow human beings out of existence. Grieving families often don't even have a body to bury. Shot by snipers, gassed, machine-gunned, drowned in mud and shallow shell holes, blown to red mist by shell fire, torn to shreds by shrapnel, even injured by flying pieces of their own comrades. This is the reality of war. Given these obscene circumstances, it's hard not to dismiss man as a mere bloodthirsty animal. But it's been discovered that in many skirmishes, soldiers went so far as to shoot above or to the side of their enemies, even at great risk to their own lives. They'll tell you man's a hunting beast, all crimson, tooth and claw, born in blood and loved the taste, a killer, little more. It's true we had the skill to kill, but still we aimed away. We knew we had a war to win, an enemy to crush, but killing others didn't come so naturally to us. We had the will, but not the heart to kill. We aimed away. Both Fritz and Tommy felt alike, sick of the hell of it. We fired our rifles short and high, and missed more than we hit. Though trained to end it all, and quick, we entered every fray, loathing the waste. We had no taste for death. We aimed away. Day-to-day existence in the trenches is both horrific and monotonous. The threat of enemy snipers, the constant booming of the guns, the endless waiting for orders, all batter at the men's nerves. A life of mud, rain, rats and lice, with little to do but wait for the next suicidal big push, takes a heavy toll on morale. A shortage of equipment, such as respirators, means that the only solution to horrendous gas attacks is to breathe through a handkerchief soaked in urine. But Tommy's legendary jet-black sense of humour in the face of such deprivation is often the only thing that keeps him going. The soldiers nickname various areas of trench Leicester Square, Tottenham Court Road, Oxford Circus, etc. And sometimes the only thing one can do is to joke about it all. There's plenty of snipers in Wipers. There's a ton load of Huns in Verdun. They'll harm you in Marne. You'll be bombed in the Somme. They'll deny you your place in the sun. They'll be cooking your goose if you travel to Loos, and they'll blow you to kingdom come. But you may have heard mention a fabulous trench, and I know it's a place you'll have fun. Go down Piccadilly, and left by the Strand, the sergeant, he waits by your chalet. Make for the sticking out subaltern's hand, just in time for the old barbed wire ballet. Greetings from Flanders Holiday Camp. Oh, how we wish you was here. It's a place of delight, and every night the guns whisper, "Shut off," in your ear. There's a very good chance of a nice cup of tea. It's been brewing since 1906. You can break your fast with a lovely repast if you don't mind the maggots and ticks. There's bed and there's grub, 3 courses of mud, and your board and your clothing is free. But know that you ought to not drink shell hole water, unless you require dysentery. She's a lovely place, Flanders Holiday Camp. You'll never want to leave her. Take a souvenir gift. Give your family a lift when you bring home shell shock or trench fever. There's 3 types of gas, will you like to be flashed, that can give you a nice burning kiss. But no gas mask, too swanky. Just ask for a hanky. We'd be glad to help soak it in piss. So it's goodbye from Flanders Holiday Camp. We know you enjoyed your stay. We can see just a hint of a paralysed squint as the stretcher boys bear you away. We'll miss you at Flanders Holiday Camp. We're ever so glad that you came. When you get home to Blighty, they'll patch you up nicely, and we'll do it all over again. And again, and again, and again, and again. All over by Christmas, they said. Next Christmas then, they said. But it goes on and on, as the fiery passion of the early weeks begins to fade when face to face with the harsh realities of war. And when he marched to war, a woman in the crowd threw a wild rose to him, which softly glanced off his proud young chest. The French sun seared through the clouds, and as he dug, it tanned his arms and head and blushed his pasty trunk. And they said, "That's a funny mark, shaped like a flowering eglantine, just above his heart." And he said, "Yes, been there since birth." And he dreamed of the night they danced, and her corsage so pretty, pinned gently to the bust of her Sunday dress, and recalled how it lay crumpled later on the bedroom floor, and smiled then, despite the new red bloom that was suddenly blossoming on his stuttering breast. And what now of those dreams of daring deeds and feats of glory? "Oh, bloody hell, I slipped!" I didn't see him fall, but he was always tripping, Taff. The clumsy bugger spent half the war face down in mud. I went back, tried to get him up, and felt, then saw the wound and all the blood. We marched at midnight through the streets of Southampton, a mightiest ocean of khaki-clad heroes, brave young hunters, all unblooded yet, and the women blew kisses and threw roses and sometimes an address. We were the chosen, stood for British pride and knelt for no one, fought for honour, duty, God, vowed that we may die, but England always would go on. And oh, the sabres rattled and the glasses raised, the old boys' chins that jutted with that righteous ire, the din of pious battle in their ears, their days spent tutting at those cowards who refused to die. Old stags rutting, barking and bugling as they sacrificed their sons to save a failing way of life. While here the living walk upon the dead, I was not the first and shall not be the last to witness glory die. For me it was one dawn on my knees in a trench, thigh deep in the guts of a man, one born surely not to hate, not to make his widow weep. Make no mistake, these men are gone. They do not sleep. And still they come. Young boys lying about their age and joining up. 17, 16, some as young as 15 years old. The butcher's boy from Bermondsey threw back his curtains wide and smiled a smile of innocence, a grin of youthful pride. The day was full of promise as he bade his folks goodbye. The war took boys of 19, but he lied his way inside the 12th Battalion training ground based at Rotherhithe and trained to be a soldier boy, his muckers by his side. The butcher's boy from Bermondsey, he took up arms with pride and went to fight the enemy and watched his best friends die. Alone, alive, amongst the dead, he fell to his knees and cried. The butcher's boy from Bermondsey threw both his arms out wide and cursed the fact that he'd survived and screamed the question, why? Then back to Blighty, 10 days leave. His ma and pa both cried. They saw his pain, but he was brave and kept it all inside. He wouldn't talk about the war. When asked, he always lied. Once more returned to war's embrace, to ride the devil's ride. The war yielded more horrors, but he fought on, numb inside. Petitioned death for sweet release, but always went denied, until the bullet found him, and death took him with a sigh. And the butcher's boy from Bermondsey spread his arms out wide. It isn't just the lower ranks who suffer, of course. Officers are forced to witness the death and injury of many of the men under their command, compelled to appear dispassionate in order to lead effectively. It's only when they're on leave that the cracks begin to show. And do you stare up and out at the Somerset sky, immune to sleep and counting stars? Desire fled and sheened with sweat, waiting for the sound of the thundering guns to claim you. At last, your luck run out. And did you catch your trembling hands fumbling with the crystal at the dinner table, breath caught inside you as you ate dead meat? And do you miss the oiks, the men you bled with, the trench, the mud, and the endless rain? Do you marvel at the strength of the ties that bind you, stronger than family, deeper than death? And smiling at the sunlight on this summer morning, you find there are tears, and you don't know why. And some officers do their best to prepare for the inevitable. I feel the end approaching now, deep in my bones. My soul's exhausted with it all. This raping of the earth, these fires that roar up at the blood-red sky, these slivers of instant death that rip their fatal path through poisoned air. I know this, that I'm adamant, will dance no more to their slaughterous song. And I know the dead do not forget that this is wrong. That's all, just wrong. Our journey's fleeting. We scrawl our names upon the sand, and the sea smooths them all away. I've said all my goodbyes and locked the past away, but kept some shards of memory to polish to a shine that I'll bring forth to look at on my way to the place where soldiers go. The shiver that my wife gives when I touch her in her arm, her smile, the smell of my young baby's tiny head. That's all. Life is so short. We write our names upon the sand, and the sea washes them away. We write our names upon the sand, and the sea washes them away. It's said that the soldier is not the man who makes war. He is the man who offers his life to end it. There will still be some green on the trees at home. And when I close my eyes, I can feel the warmth of the low winter sun upon my face, and there is no pain. Above, in the bluest autumn sky, a hawk wheels and soars, and there the stars do not grow cold and fall away from me. When I close my eyes, the distant thunders are not guns, but the gentle whisperings of a summer stream, and my desperate thirst is quenched at last. And you lie in my arms, and you are not the enemy, you are real, and I smell your scent even here. And now I'm no longer frightened to close my eyes. This one last time. Many soldiers, unable to stand the horrors of war, pray for a blighty wound, or a blighty as they call it, a wound severe enough to get them sent home, but not serious enough to completely incapacitate them. Understandably, there are quite a few soldiers mysteriously shot in the foot. I've been in this row for 2 years now, and I've fought for me king and me nation. Been shot at and shelled at, gassed at and yelled at in every altercation. At the end of the day, I've joined every fray from Wipers down to Nancy. But I wants a nick that'll send me home quick. Just a little one now, nothing fancy. Oh gold, give me a blighty. Give me a wound that takes me back to Ma. Gold, it'd delight me. A shot in the shoulder, but nothing bolder, so when I get back I can drive a car. A hole in the bum, as long as I'm numb, and the sergeant could powder it lightly. I've too many toes, there's plenty can go. I look good in the hospital nighty. A shell in the wicket can punch your ticket, but frankly I would rather they aim for me head. I'd rather be dead than be shot in the how's your father. Oh gold, give me a blighty. Let me hobble along the prom at Margate Pier. Gold, I'll ask politely. A scratch or a gash, a tear or a slash, anything's better than bleeding here. So gold, please give me a blighty. I don't think it's too much to ask, because if you don't give me a blighty, I'll have to kiss the Kaiser's arse.